Welcome, Joe, to Metalating Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about Iniquitous Savagery, this new album,
Cheers.
Edifice of Vicissitudes, and mystery related to the Metro War in general. So we are starting by asking, so how are you doing today? How is the band during the last couple of years?
Today, good. I'm actually home from band practice a little while ago. We had a tour announced just yesterday,
Okay.
so just trying to get the set. It's in January, so we're trying to get a new set ready and just keep practicing. So yeah, today's been free, just band practice, then made some dinner, just taking it easy.
No, okay. That's interesting. And one thing that I didn't know for this new album is that you are come back like 9 years for difference from your first album. I remember that you hear your subversion of this of the Sikke at that moment, and now 9 years pass, and we have this second album. So why the band delay 9 years to release an album?
Oh, just we all wanted to do it, then just life got in the way. Certain members, certain like family situations kind of thing, and they weren't able to like focus so much on the band for a spell of time.
Oh, okay,
So,
and well, okay.
there was definitely a point of maybe like 2 years straight where the band was kind of just on hold. In that 9 years, there was a good 2 years, maybe a little bit more, where we weren't even going to practice, we weren't writing songs or gigging. It was just kind of everything was on hold for a period of time.
Okay. All the detail about this one is well that when do you start writing songs for this new album, and are the songs new, or perhaps do you rescue any composition that left were out for the previous album?
Yeah, interesting question. Basically, um, I don't know if you noticed in 2020 we put out a single,
Yep.
one track, Iniquitous. So basically, shortly before then, we started writing. Maybe 2019, I'd say we started writing for this album originally. Then there was more delays, and we put out Iniquitous, which was the best track we had at that time, and then we got the deal with Willowtip. So basically, from 2020 onwards is when we seriously started trying to write the new album. We kind of scrapped old songs. We had some things that got scrapped, or some things that just got like revised. We took it back to the drawing board and fucked around with it a bit or whatever.
Mhm. Okay. All the detail about this new album is that you're releasing this edifice of vicissitudes through Will of the Records, and your previous album came out from or through Green Dead Records. So how was the transition to work first with it, Green Dead Records, and now with Will of the Records, a brutal death metal label since the 2000s?
Yeah, it was. We were really happy when that came about. Basically, we first met Jason from Willowtip. We were in the US opening for Defeated Sanity,
Mhm. Okay.
and we played a show in Pittsburgh. And Defeated Sanity were basically a Willowtip band at that time, and we got to meet him briefly, and then said hello, played our show, and then years later, once we got everything ready for Iniquitous, we just emailed them, just got in touch, like, look, don't know if you remember us from before, we're back, new single, new album coming, and we just basically submitted our music. Then he was interested, he was down.
Mm. Okay. And so now, how do you feel about this new album? How many expectations about the brutal death metal scene? Because the band lost in the transition 9 years, and I saw and I didn't saw and I didn't saw a lot of presentation for the band, because with this new album and with the previous single that you released in 2020, I just saw a lot more active the band. So now, how was the expectation of the fans for this new album? How was the reaction until now for the first two singles?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a long time overdue. Like you're talking about, the 9 year break
Mhm.
was not planned. It was just things got in the way. Then obviously this is our first album with our new vocalist Liam.
Okay.
So Liam joined the band. I can't remember exactly when he joined. It was maybe over a year ago now. Like, 2 years. No, maybe not as long as 2 years. He's maybe a little bit less than that. So first album with a new vocalist, and obviously all the delays up to getting the album ready. So yeah, it's kind of like weight off our shoulders, just to like finally have a new album ready.
No. Okay, okay. Interesting to know. And now, usually when you release a new album for a lot of people or for a lot of musicians and also for a lot of bands, the last album is the best work to date. So if this reason is for you the same, so this new album is perhaps the best record from Iniquitous Savagery for this one. So in this
Yeah.
topic, and what makes this album special to you and what is bring us musically and lyrically?
Um. Well, it's definitely a big step up musically. The songs are like a bit more technical, more diverse, more more dynamic, more brutal. In general. Um. Basically, there's not like, I guess the formula is not drastically different to our first album. It's just like a much better, heavier fucking version of it.
Hmm.
And lyrically, it's kind of mixed. It's not like a concept album. The title track, no, sorry, not the title track. The album title is lyrics from a song on the album. That song is called. One second. What the fuck do we call that song again? Choked Before First Breath. That was lyrics that our drummer Ewan wrote. So he would be the better guy to explain the kind of lyrical subject of that. And for the album cover, we got our friend Giannis, Remedy Art Design. When we spoke to him, he was just like, do you give me free reign to kind of do what I want? So we sent him the lyrics, told him the concept of that song, and we just kind of let him do what he wanted for the art, So we're happy to get something sick back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Now talking about especially from the cover art first, I saw that you present a new cover art because the first album was a Tom Bradfield as the creator of the cover art, and now you have Giannis Nakos, I
Yeah,
think from Greece to do this new album or the cover art for this new album. So how the experience to work with him about this new cover art, and also I saw the mixing and mastering is working. You work with Colin Marston, so a great musician from the US, producer also. So how was
yeah.
working with Colin Marston with this new, and the creator of the cover art, and also Colin Marston has to do perhaps with the sound of the is involved on the sound of the band now.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, Colin mixed Anti-Natalist as well and reamped it. Um, he just knows things we don't know, basically. He knows how to keep it heavy and raw sounding, but still have that clarity.
Mhm.
So he reamped the guitars and bass for the new album and for the last single we done with him. So
Mhm.
I guess, yeah, he's kind of got his vision for that. We also record the drums to his spec as well. He wants the room mic. He wants all the certain way the mics are, certain placement of the mics and stuff, all the right levels. So we just try to keep him happy with the recording because we can't afford to fly to New York to record there. So we do it.
Mhm.
We just do it. We do it here at home for friends, and then send him the music to get mixed and reamped and stuff. So that, yeah, always awesome working with Colin. He's insane at what he does for sure. And same with Giannis. I've been friends with Giannis just on Facebook for years, so I'd always like over the years seen him post cover art and stuff, and then never spoke to him, but I was always like, oh, one day we should hit this guy up. And then we were searching for artists. It was tough, and then I was like, fuck it. Wait, I know someone. I know this guy, Giannis Nakos. Then hit him up for the first time, and he was like already familiar with the band.
Mhm.
So he was happy. We were happy. We went and we were like, yep, you get it. You get it. Just do what the fuck you want, basically.
Mhm. Okay, okay. Other detail about this now album. Well, talking about now the promotion of this new album, what kind of plans do you have for this edifice of vicissitudes? Perhaps you mentioned at the beginning that you will do a tour for the promotion of this new album. And what kind of news we have more to the new album? Perhaps more videos upcoming. Perhaps all you will come here to Latin America. Who knows? What kind of plans do you have for Iniquitous and this new album?
Well, yeah, yesterday was very big news for us. We just announced the tour in European tour in January. It's our first ever European tour. We played a few shows before out there, wee festivals and stuff like that, but this is our first proper European tour, and it's with Defeated Sanity, or the headliner. Then we got To Violently Vomit. Are you familiar with To Violently
Oh
Vomit?
yeah, yeah, yeah. The new band from the people from Disgorge.
Yeah, so it's Defeated Sanity, To Violently Vomit, Putrid Pile,
Oh,
In- Iniquitous Savagery, and Stranglewire from Ireland.
okay,
So
nice.
yeah, the lineup's insane. We've known about this for a while. This is a big plan for a long time, but we've just tried to stay quiet about it, you know. And the timing's pretty good. You know, just got a new album out at the end of November, tour at the end of January, and
Mhm.
then after that, just see what happens. See what kind of shows we can get. Try and do some festivals next year. Try and just keep active and keep at it. With the South America thing, we would love that. You know, it's just it's a long way and tickets are expensive, but it's definitely something we would love to do. Something we can hopefully do when the time is right. You know.
Okay, okay. So I'm talking about now the concept of the album. So usually all the brutal death metal stuff, or all brutal death metal work, all bands talk about the death, gore, horror movies, this kind of stuff, and usually try to relate with the cover art. So in these topics, so how can you relate the name of the band, or sorry, the name of the album, the music involved, and the lyrics on this album? We could we see that this album speaks about the gore, about horror things that usually the brutal death metal spokes or speaks?
It does, yeah. There's definitely gore in there. It's not all just gore, but it's kind of mixed, you know. Um, it's a kind of fuck. I'm trying to think of the subject matter. We've got some songs are more just about like mental kind of shit, you know, like just the kind of like the psychiatry kind of side of insanity, and some stuff's about like kind of
Mm.
just I don't know. You know, it's tough. I'm just a fucking guitar player. You know, I'm not really I'm not much of a lyricist. You know, I had a little bit of input. I done a couple of songs on this album.
Oh, okay.
The one song I done is actually about a serial killer. So that's a kind of typical death metal one, but it's about
Mm.
an old Scottish serial killer,
Okay.
and we left it kind of vague. So we kind of took a different angle on the lyrics, so it's not just like a typical gore
Mm.
murder kind of song, you know.
Okay.
But our new vocalist Liam, he wrote a lot of the lyrics, and our drummer wrote the lyrics for a few songs as well.
Okay. Okay. I understand. So one
But
thing we're talking about now, the technicality of you mentioned one thing that this new album bring to us more technical stuff compared to the previous one that more brutal death metal stuff in the vein of the 90s, like Suffocation, Broken Hope, etc., etc., or perhaps like the Deeds of Flesh and Disgorge. You mentioned one also. So how can you relate this topic of the technical when you always the brutal death metal always was so technical since the beginning? When you listen the first songs from Suffocation,
yeah,
they are a lot of technical. They're just it's like you said, technical with brutal is need to life together, because brutal and technical always be brutal. That's completely normal. But you say that
Yeah,
this album bring us more technicality. So how do you in this topic? So how do you describe your sound yourself when you say this topic that the band is now more technical compared with, because right now, as you can see, the technical death metal stuff is more related to necrophagist or
yeah.
archspire.
Well, we're definitely not related to Necrophagist or Archspire, more like the first bands you mentioned. Um, I don't consider us technical death metal in any way, or slam. Don't consider Iniquitous Savagery slam or technical. We're just kind of a brutal death metal band, and having technical moments and having slammy moments is just part of that. That makes up our sound.
Mm.
I'd say it's more technical compared to the first album in the way that we're just a bit more competent now. Ewan can play drums faster. I can do more on the guitar. We're more comfortable to like push the songs a bit more, make them a bit more complex. But it's not like we're trying to be technical. We're just trying to be heavy, and that's kind of how it all comes out.
Mm. Okay, okay. So
But
we're close.
and I guess we're also not really, one thing I say about Iniquitous Savagery is not like a super blast beat orientated band.
Okay, okay.
Like
So
we
we're a
have
bit
we
close.
have fast bits, but it's not like the main
Well,
orientation of our sound.
okay, okay. So we are very close to this interview, Joe. And one thing talking about is now about artificial intelligence in the music. As you can see now, there's a lot of people working with by cover art, doing by artificial intelligence. A lot of music created by artificial intelligence. So how do you see this from your perspective? And do you think in the future you will use it to compose, design a cover or a video, for example?
Um, Probably not. I mean, my friend Tom messes about with it, and he's done some cool stuff with the AI art. But we decided like, nah, we're not gonna fuck with that for
Okay.
our artwork. I guess it's like I'm not super. I can appreciate art. I'm not super the AI stuff. I'm not super strongly opinionated on it, but
Mm.
typically I don't like it. But I've got a friend who's done some stuff using it, and he's made it really cool.
Mm.
But
Okay.
I don't like it when you see the similar patterns and stuff. It's kind of I guess my problem with it's more not that it's stealing from an artist. My problem is more that it's just kind of lazy.
Hmm. Okay, okay, I understand. So, well, Joe, the sad time has arrived at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this interview like me. Thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to have you today on Metalerium interviews. And perhaps you want to add something to your Latin fans that expect someday the Iniquitous Savagery came here, or perhaps and Metalerium followers.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. It's the first time I've actually ever done one of these, like a proper interview. So cheers for having me on. I hope you like the new album, and hopefully one day we can make it to Peru and we can hang out in person.